Hello everyone, welcome to Eden IAS. Today we are going to start a much awaited world mapping series in which we will cover various continents, their physical features like mountains, plateaus, lakes, and other than that we will also cover ocean, seas and various lakes and straits, etc. along with their importance for UPSC. Okay, so first let us locate the continents very quickly. So first we know that we have 7 continents. Okay, North America, and here we have South America, and this one is Europe, and this one is Africa, and the eastern side we have Asia, and then we will find in the southeast region we will find Australia, or sometimes it is called Oceania continent also, and in the southernmost part the landmass is known as Antarctica continent. Okay, so in this series we are going to cover first African continent. Okay, so first let's start with the all about African continent. So let's have a look on the African continent first. So before proceeding with the physical features of African continents, let's have a look on the characteristics of African continent as a whole. Okay, so African continent is nicknamed as the mother continent, as it is the oldest inhabited continent on earth. Okay, it is the only continent which is traversed by the equator, the tropic of Capricorn and the tropic of Cancer. So Africa is the second largest continent in the area, which covers 6% of Earth's total surface area and 20.4% of its total land area. The Greenwich Meridian passes through the western part of Africa. It is the only continent where the 0 degree latitude meets the 0 degree longitudes, and these lines meet at the Gulf of Guinea. Algeria is Africa's largest country by area, and Nigeria by population. Okay, so Seychelles is the smallest country in Africa. Now, next point is separated from Europe by the Mediterranean Sea. It is joined with Asia at its northern extreme and by the Isthmus of Suez, which is 163 km wide, and it is bounded by the Red Sea along the Sinai Peninsula to the northeast, and the Indian Ocean to the southeast, and the Atlantic Ocean to the west. So these are the entire boundary of the African continent. Okay, the continent is bounded on the west by the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, the continent is bounded on the west by the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, now it is divided in half almost equally by the equator. Okay, so it means equator almost divides half the entire continent. Africa has 8 major physical regions. Which are these regions? These are Sahara, then the Sahel, then the Ethiopian highland, the savanna, and the Swahili coast, and then the rainforest, and then African Great Lakes, and the last one is South Africa. Okay, so as we know that it has, if you talk about the political arena of this continent, it has 54 sovereign states. The regional division of Africa, so physiographic divisions of Africa are into the 6 regions. The first one is Northern Africa, second one is Northeast Africa, third one this is Eastern Africa, fourth one is Central Africa, fifth one is Southern Africa, and the sixth one divisions of Africa are the mountains, the plateau, the deserts, the islands, and the rivers. So first we will discuss one by one. Mountains. So Africa is famous for its newly formed folded mountains. The prominent mountain ranges with some of the very high raised mountain peaks are the specialty of African continent. So some of the major mountain ranges of Africa includes Atlas Mountain, Agar Mountain, Tibesti Mountain, Mount Kenya, Kilimanjaro, the Drakensberg Mountain, Rwenzori Mountain, and Mount Elgon, etc. So let's have a look on the features of these major mountains. Like we will start with Atlas Mountains. So it's a folded mountain situated on the northwestern part of the continent, stretching over an area of almost 2400 km towards the southwest direction across the Morocco country. Algeria and Tunisia. It is a physical separator between the extensive coast of the Mediterranean and the Atlantic Sea and the Sahara Desert. And the highest peak of this mountain ranges is Jebel Tubkal. Okay. Now next is Ahaggar Mountain. The Ahaggar Mountain, also known as the Hagar or Hogar Mountain. It's a highland region in central Sahara or southern Algeria near the Tropic of Cancer. They are located about 1500 kilometers south of capital Algiers. Mount Tahat is the highest peak of Ahaggar mountain and it has a volcanic formation. We can say this mountain is formed by the volcanic activity. Okay, or we can say that we find volcanic activity over this mountain. The Tibesti Mountains. These are mostly situated in the northern part of Chad and spread west into the northern Niger and the southern border area of Libya. Okay, so they have a volcanic origin. The highest peak is 341 meter from mean sea level. Okay, now the next one is Mount Kenya. This is the highest mountain in Kenya and the second highest in Africa. And which is the highest mountain? That is Kilimanjaro. Okay, so it is the second highest in Africa. Now, the highest peaks of the mountain are Betian, Nilian, and Lenana. Mount Kenya is located in central Kenya, just south of the equator, around 150 kilometer north or northeast of Nairobi. Okay, so now next mountain is Kilimanjaro. Kilimanjaro with its three volcanic cones, that is Kibo, Mawenzi and Shira. It's an inactive stratovolcanic mountain in northeastern Tanzania. Kilimanjaro is the tallest freestanding mountain rise in the world, rising around 4,600 meters from its base and includes the highest peak in Africa at 5,895 meters. Okay, now the next mountain is the Drakensberg mountain ranges. These mountains are the highest in South Africa. Okay, highest in South Africa, rising up at Cabana, Netherlands. This is the highest peak at 3482 meter in height. They are located in the eastern part of South Africa, running from some approximately 1000 kilometers. Okay, the highest peak is Cabana, Netherlands. Okay, now it is also the highest peak of Lesotho. Okay, you know the Lesotho is the country, landlocked country near this Drakensberg mountain. Now, Ruwenzori mountain. So Ruwenzori mountain is stretched over an area of 240 square kilometer. The range borders Uganda and Congo and thought to be the mountains of the moon. So Mount Stanley at Margarita Peak, it is the highest peak of this mountain system. So it is a gigantic host of 6 separate glaciated masses which falls steeply westward to the western Rift Valley. Okay. Now Mount Elgon. So it is an extinct volcanic mountain. Okay. So remember that Mount Elgon is the extinct volcanic mountain situated in the northeastern part of the Lake Victoria on the Uganda-Kenya border. The highest point of this Mount Elgon is 4321 km, and as a volcanic mountain, it has a crater which is 610 meter deep and 8 km across its stretches. So these are the major mountains of the African continents, plateaus of the African continent. Okay, the vast African continents are famous for its saucer-shaped and steep-edged plateaus that are facing towards the coast and extending from Guinea coast to Somaliland and North Sahara to the Cape province. Okay, so these are divided into 3 groups. Okay, first one is South African plateau, then we'll talk about East African plateau, then Ethiopian highlands. Okay, so the South African plateau, as far as about 12 degrees south, bounded east, west and south by the bands of high ground which fall steeply to the coast. The South African plateau is connected towards the northeast with the East African plateau. Now when we talk about the East African Plateau and its characteristics. It includes the East African Plateau with probably a slightly greater average elevation and marked by some distinct features. And it is formed by a widening out of the eastern axis of high ground, which becomes subdivided into a number of zones running north and south and consisting in terms of ranges, tablelands, and depressions. And when we talk about the Ethiopian highlands, the third division, this is the higher region of Africa, is formed by the Ethiopian highland, a rugged mass of mountains forming the largest continuous area of its altitude in the whole continent. Okay, so some of the important plateaus include the Katanga Plateau, which is famous for farming, ranching, and very resource rich of copper and uranium deposits. And the next one is Ethiopian Plateau, which is the part which also includes the Lake Tana. Lake Tana, this is the source of Blue Nile, and this is cooler despite close to the equator. And Great Karu and Bai Plateau and the Adamawa Plateau also. So these are all the important plateaus. Now let's talk about the major deserts of African continent. They are the Sahara Desert. It is the largest hot desert in the world. It stretches across the entire width of North Africa. It covers an area of approximately 3320,000. It means 33 lakhs 20,000 square miles. The major countries contributing their land to Sahara Desert are Libya, Algeria, Egypt, Tunisia, Chad, Morocco, Eritrea, Niger, Mauritania, Mali, and Sudan. The principal topographical features of the Sahara include the shallow, seasonally inundated basins and large oasis depressions, extensive gravel-covered plains, rock strewn plateaus, and abrupt mountains, and sand sheets, dunes, sand seas, and oases. Okay, Nubian Desert. The Nubian Desert is the eastern region of the Sahara Desert between the Nile and the Red Sea. There is virtually no rainfall here, and there are no oases. It is in Egypt. It covers an area of approximately 1,54,000 square miles approximately. Okay. Now the next desert is Namib Desert. Namib is a cool coastal desert in southern Africa. This Namib Desert is believed to be as old as 55 million years. So thus it is considered as the oldest desert in the world. Okay, so important fact, you can note it down. This is the oldest desert in the world. The high sand dunes of the Namib Desert and the point where the desert meets the sea are the key attraction of this UNESCO World Heritage Site. So now next point is the Kalahari Desert. Kalahari Desert lies in the south and the Namib Desert is along the southwest shore of Africa. It covers an area of approximately 350,000 square miles and comprises parts of Botswana, Namibia, Zambia, Angola, and Zimbabwe. And it is famous for diamond mining. Okay, so Kalahari Desert, remember this point. Kalahari Desert is famous for diamond mining. Okavango Delta also at the coast of this, and it is one of the very few major interior delta systems that do not flow into a sea or ocean. Okay, it comprises permanent marshland and seasonally flooded plains. And this Okavango Delta also covers part of the Kalahari Desert and owes its extension to the Okavango River. And it is home to some of the world's most endangered species like cheetah, white rhinoceros, black rhinoceros, African wild dog, and lion. Okay, so these are the important deserts of African continent. Important islands nearby the African continent. These are the Madagascar, as we know, in the Indian Ocean. It is the largest island in African continent. Then Canary Islands to the northwest in the Atlantic Ocean, and St. Helena. It is located in the west of African coast and in the South Atlantic Ocean. And we know it is famous for the death of Napoleon during the exile. He was died here, right? And Zanzibar belongs to Tanzania and is closer to the Indian Ocean. So now let's have a look is to our next segment, that is the important rivers of the African continent. So first we will talk about the river Nile, because this is the longest river in the world, and in the world, then it means the longest river of Africa as well. So it starts from the many streams in the equatorial rainforest of the Lake Victoria, and the major source is the Lake Victoria. And the river Nile is comprises of the two major rivers, that is White Nile and Blue Nile. So White Nile stretches from, or you can show the source of White Nile is Lake Victoria at Rovenzori mountain region. It is joined by the Blue Nile at Khartoum, and Blue Nile, which starts from Lake Tana on Ethiopian highlands. Then when they combine together, Blue Nile and Green Nile, and comes at the Nile River, it flows from 3,000 kilometers through the dry Sahara Desert of Egypt, and in the end it joins the Mediterranean Sea, or we can say it flows into the Mediterranean Sea. So Egypt is called the gift of the Nile because without the river it would have been a desert. Okay, so major crops like cotton cultivating prevailing over here, petroleum at the mouth of the river, navigable and irrigation are the major features of this river. Aswan Dam on Lake Nasser, Port Said, and Alexandria at its mouth are some of the important characteristics or the important facts to be known about the Nile River. Okay, now next river is River Congo or River Zaire. The Congo is the second largest, or second longest river in Africa. It starts from the southwest of the Lake Tanganyika and flows into the Atlantic Ocean. The Zaire Basin is one of the wettest regions of the earth and is covered with dense, impenetrable jungle. Okay, the river and its network of tributaries are not navigable because of rapids and waterfalls caused by the descent from the plateau to the coast. River Niger. So River Niger is the chief river of West Africa. It rises from the Fouta Zalon mountain. Remember this point? Fouta Zalon mountain, quite close to the sea, but flows north and then turns south again to form a wide arc before joining to the Gulf of Guinea on the Atlantic Ocean. Now the next river is River Zambezi. River Zambezi flows into the Indian Ocean. The famous Victoria Falls at the head of a long church in on the river. Okay, so we can say that Victoria, when you are asked on UPSC Prelims that Victoria Falls lies on which river, it means it is asking for the river Zambezi. Okay, now next one is River Limpopo. River Limpopo also flows into the Indian Ocean, which crosses through. Yeah, remember I have told you also which crosses the Tropic of Capricorn twice. Now the next river is River Orange. This flows from the Drakensberg mountain into the Atlantic Ocean. So these are the important rivers of the African continent. Lakes of Africa. Then we will talk about the important lakes. First one, we will start with Lake Victoria. Lake Victoria is the second largest freshwater lake in the world. Second largest freshwater lake in the world. Now put in the comment section which is the largest freshwater lake in the world. Okay, it is the largest lake in Africa. It is situated on the Block Mountain between the two branches of the Great Rift Valley. The equator passes through it and it is the source of the White Nile River. White Nile and Blue Nile, they combine together and makes the Nile River. Right? Now the lakes of the Rift Valley, there is a string of lakes in the Rift Valley, like Lake Tanganyika and Lake Nyasa are other larger one river of Rift Valley. Now when we talk about another important river, that is Lake Tana. Lake Tana is on the Ethiopian plateau, and it is the source of Blue Nile. Now, next one is Lake Chad. Lake Chad at the southern edge in the Sahara Desert is in a region of inland drainage. The streams start from the surrounding hills and flows into this lake instead of the sea. Remember that point? The stream starts from the surrounding hills and flow into this lake instead of the sea. It means nearby rivers flows into this lake only. The river Char is the largest river in this area. Now next one is Lake Nasser. Lake Nasser is on the river Nile. It is a man-made lake located between Egypt and Sudan. So it is a man-made lake. Okay. Now the Lake Kariba. Lake Kariba is also the man-made lake. And the important point to be noted over here is that Lake Kariba is the largest man-made lake by volume. It is situated in the southernmost part of Africa at Zambezi River. So this artificial lake is made on the river Zambezi. Remember that point. Okay. Now the next important lake is Lake Essel. Lake Essel is situated in Djibouti, and the very important feature of this lake is that it is the lowest point in Africa. So when you are asked about which lakes is having the lowest point of Africa, or you are asked about the lowest point in Africa, then the answer would be Lake Essel. So these are the important points with respect to exam perspective, and as well as very important for the other exams also. So that is why these all are which are covered in this video are important points of the African continent. So we will start with our next continent in the next video. Till then, have a good time. Take care. Thank you.